Forbes India and Indeed present Top 30 Talent Leaders of 2024.
I'm Tina Vas from Sagility, and I head HR for the Americas, along with a couple of global COEs, such as mergers and acquisition, lateral and leadership hiring, as well as employee surveys and people analytics. I have more than 2 decades of work experience in the tech and ITES industry, with an equal split living in the US and India, thus giving me an appreciation of other cultures and a global perspective. I am married with 2 kids. Interestingly, my career in HR was accidental. I hadn't chosen HR. I know it sounds corny, but HR chose me. So my specialization at business school was in marketing, and that's where I began my career. Circumstances and opportunity eventually landed me in the HR space. I first began with talent acquisition, and that gave me an opportunity to help people make their careers, find their footing inside an organization. And subsequent to that, I moved to HR, and that's where I was instrumental in helping people find their footing at a company, grow, succeed, learn, and reach their own journey of success. That's truly when I unlocked the power of the role and my own skills in the area. The rest, as you know, is history. Truly, what's kept me in this field is the ability to influence organizational leaders, drive diversity, and foster employee growth. That's what basically gets me to work every day. See, my journey as a talent leader began in executive search. That provided me with an insider view of how you could create magic by aligning right talent to the right organization. Subsequently, I spent most of my career perfecting the role of an HR business partner and earning a seat at the table. My background, I came from a sales background. Remember, my education and my earlier career was in sales. So having come from sales and business, it gave me a very good perspective of what does a business leader look for in HR and how do you align your skills so that you are relatable to them. Subsequently in my journey, I didn't go looking for it. I know people are very fascinated by transformation and mergers and acquisitions, but I've done a lot of those through my career because I was part of organizations that relied heavily on inorganic growth. So that I would say maybe some stage of my career, my mid-career onwards, that's where I spent my time. My last few years have actually been spent in a strategic space, building leadership teams, helping them succeed, creating cultural journeys that are relatable and serve as a compass to ensure we go about achieving our goals with the right set of values and purpose. Challenges that talent leaders face in 2024, one of them certainly is getting digitization right. See, we are all in pursuit of speed, efficiency, seamless, good employee experience. And it is important for us to leverage tools that we have while looking for newer tools, because tech can be a game changer. That said, I think avoiding digitization mistakes is an important one, and our organization tries to make sure we don't jump into something unless it's been thought through, tried and tested. So it's a fine balance to maintain, to embrace what's new while not making a mistake. The other one, we are about close to a 40,000 employee company with bulk of our workforce working from home. So engaging workforce in a hybrid setup, that's another huge challenge post-COVID. Now, data proves that employees who work out of office are more engaged than those working out of homes. But this is something that's going to stay, right? That's not going to change. So our role as HR leaders and talent leaders is really making sure we get that right. The last big one I would say is addressing the generational gap at the workforce. People in influential roles belong to Gen X, some millennials, very few at Gen Z have made it there yet. But 70% of our workforce today is Gen Z. So how do you become a relatable employer? How do you make sure that, we learn some and unlearn some things, and at the same time help them take the workplace seriously, address expectations that the workplace has in the way it exists today? I think finding that perfect fit, I would list these as maybe the top 3 challenges we face today. I think predictive analytics and success profiling has been around. I believe our tools today are just making it sharper and better and helping us get more accuracy in finding what is that secret sauce that makes for a successful employee. Technology has helped us towards that. The other area, which I would say is just like candidates these days have tools to customize their resumes based on a job description, tech is capable of passing through candidates, whether it's through assessments, behavioral, technical, figuring out who's a passive versus an active candidate. I think these are big areas where technology is helping us. A futuristic way of hiring is most likely going to be skill-based hiring. And I think technology will be a game changer there, because we have yet to get down to actually having competency-based measures available online, and for us to be taking reliable data out of that. That's the other one, right? At Sagility, the other area where technology has played a huge role is we've demonstrated hiring efficiency by having bots do part of our work. So that's replaced the redundant aspect of a recruiter's role, and thus giving us time to do more. Finally, I would say in this space, virtual onboarding and engagement from an offer stage right to joining, which we call the pre-boarding. I think that again, tech has very meaningfully through the right tools made it possible for us to do that efficiently. And I think there's a lot more to come from AI-driven recruitment. We are constantly looking at it, but not yet engaged any AI-driven tools to help us do that. Part of my role at my current company is people analytics. And there's a program that we have been running now. It's called Voice of Employee. And what that does is we run moment of truth based surveys, which are personalized. They're personalized to your journey. They're personalized to what's going on at an individual level. And we bake in those inputs to actually help us understand which part of the organization needs attention and how. And being able to do that has resulted over 3 years, our people NPS score has moved from 23 to 52. And this has been a remarkable success thanks to this program. The other area that I'm proud to mention is as we formed into an organization as Sagility, we were very clear, we were excited, ambitious, we knew what we wanted to achieve and by when, and all of that was clear to us, right? What was important to define as a talent leader for me was how do we go about doing that? And that led to defining the values. I'm with participation of the leadership team, we got down to a point where we concentrated on articulating the values that define us, ensuring that we infuse them at every relevant stage of our decision making. And today, that's really what's helping us be successful. We know where we want to get to, but more importantly, we know how we want to go about that. So that helps us work as a team. The other area I would say is building talent. Not just am I responsible for leadership hiring, but this year we've also brought in 23 management trainees into the company from Premier B schools. And this is an endeavor to ensure that we blend experience with new talent. Lastly, mergers and acquisitions is an area I manage. And over these last few years, making sure that an acquisition is successful. It's like a marriage. You only know that much before you get into it. But since then, making sure that minds meet, there's a win-win for everyone. There's appreciation for different things and skills that we bring to the table, and blending that all together to make for a successful organization. That's been my area of focus. My advice for people starting out is, pick internships, pick opportunities at the outset where you can try and explore as many things as you can do. Once you actually find the right area that speaks to your strengths and talents, because remember, this is the space that you will have to build your career in, right? Once you know that and once you figure that out, I would say go deep. Specialization and depth is very important. These would be my fundamental, I would say, inputs to somebody starting out. Outside of that, to be successful in a career, you've got to be business savvy. Just understanding HR is not enough. You need to know which industry you're entering, how's your organization doing, what's competition looking like. Having that perspective, that's important. Keeping your networks alive is important because that'll always help you get to any point faster. And last but not the least, ensuring that you keep learning. Even those of us who have spent this long in HR, there's always something for us to learn. There's always something changing. So stay humble and keep learning.
Forbes India and Indeed present Top 30 Talent Leaders of 2024.